Okay, so let's have a look at our fifth example. Here is the question. Do you think maybe you know the answer already? Well, even if you think you know it, let's practice using my 10-step technique again. So, read the example sentence and the sentence with the missing information. You broke my camera, James said to Robert. James, his camera. Okay. Step 2. Put a line through the duplicate information in both sentences. Duplicate information. Okay, so that's looking for the same information in the example and our sentence. So pause the video and put a line through duplicate information. When you're ready, press play, and I'll show you which words I put the line through. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. And I put a line through camera and James. Let's move on to step 3. Identify the type of word they give you. Accused. Is it a noun, verb, an adjective, something different? If you haven't done so already, write down this question and write next to the word accused what type of word you think it is. And when you're ready, press play on the video and you'll see what I wrote down. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. Accused is a noun or a verb in the past tense. Next step, 4. Is the word accused used in any common collocations, expressions, phrasal verbs, etc.? What do you think? Pause the video, see if you can think of any expressions, etc. using accused, and when you've had a good think, press play and we'll have a look what I say. Okay, so accused is often used with an object and then the word of and then something. Accuse of. Step 5. Can we use the keyword and the information without a line through in the example sentence to complete the gap? So we have you broke my and said to Robert and the word accused. Can we use that information to complete the gap? Pause the video and try to complete the gap using that information. And when you're ready, press play and we'll have a look what I think. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. So I'm going to use that word and the information without a line through, and I've created this. James accused Robert of breaking his camera. Accused Robert of breaking. Okay. We're halfway there. Let's move on to step 6. If you're not sure about an answer, and I'm not sure about this at the moment, try asking yourself a question using the information you have. So we want to create a question which helps us find the answer. So we want to ask a question about the main part of this example sentence. What are they asking? What should we ask to find the answer? So pause the video and write down a question to try and get the important information, to try and help us complete this sentence. And when you're ready, press play and we'll see what question I've written down. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. The question which I've written down is, did James accuse Robert of breaking his camera? So we have did James because it's in the past. James said to Robert, you broke my camera. Did James, in the past, accuse Robert of breaking his camera? And then what we need to try and do is to answer this question. Step number 7, answer our question. So did James accuse Robert of breaking his camera? Well, in the example sentence it says, you broke my camera, James said to Robert. So yes, James did accuse Robert of breaking his camera. And another way to say that is to say, yes, James accused Robert of breaking his camera. The key word is accused, so we need to say James accused rather than James did accuse, which would be a good sentence, but it wouldn't be using the key word exactly, and we need to use the key word exactly. So, James accused Robert of breaking his camera. Yes, he did. Step number 8. Can you now put a line through the remaining information? Again, you can pause this if you've written it down somewhere and see if you can put a line through the rest of the information if it's the same in the example sentence and our sentence. When you've done that, press play. Okay, so I've managed to cross out the word broke because I've written breaking, camera, okay, James and Robert. So I've crossed out a fair amount of it. Not all of it. So maybe there's a couple more things we can do to make sure our answer is correct. And we still have 2 steps to go. So step number 9, is the overall meaning of our completed sentence the same as the overall meaning of the example sentence? You broke my camera, James said to Robert. James accused Robert of breaking his camera. Is the meaning the same? Yes, it is. James is accusing Robert of breaking his camera. And the final step, step number 10, do the words match each other? That should say, not this, but each other. Make sure the words you use match each other. For example, if you use an uncountable noun, do not write many before it. So, James accused Robert. Well, I remember from this earlier step, accuse, object of something. Accused, Robert is the object of, and something, breaking, ing. Normally we use a gerund with an ing after a preposition, which is of here, so that's correct as well. So, yes, we are keeping with this accuse, object of, and using a verb ing after the preposition of, and to say the thing, the something is breaking. Okay, and there we have it. That is the end of our 5th example, and I'll see you in the next video looking at the next example, number 6.